'Twas the week before opening, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring. Except for the Santas practicing their dance number.
Nobody cares about Santa.
But while the cast of Elf the Musical has been rehearsing together for a few weeks, another group of elves has been hard at work behind the scenes for months to build this piece of holiday magic.
This process started, I want to say about 8 months ago for me.
Well, I was offered the show last spring.
Like, we started building Elf in August, at the beginning of August.
I thought, well, this is going to be a real challenge.
The elves at Persephone Theatre started painting the set months before the show opens. And the painters are going off the set designer's model, the maquette.
It's a communication tool. The purpose of a designer's concept is they come up with a concept that serves the play. But at the same time, you then have to take all of that and translate it into terms that can communicate to a staff to actually build it. Because I don't build it. I don't paint it, I don't build it, I just create it, that's all.
It's not just about looking pretty for Cameron's set either. It needs to match the director's vision. And it has to function perfectly with a cast of dancers and singers all around it.
Left, center stage, top.
These are all absolutely necessary pieces that every designer does for every show. There's the cyclorama, there's the set, there's the audiences out there, there's the sight line. These lines say, what are they looking up over the set? What do they see, you know? Then every element that you see here is architecturally drafted out to be cut out, to be built by the carpenters and the scenic artists, the painters and that.
In the theater's workshop, the carpenters are busy putting set pieces together. Or to be more specific, the carpenter, singular.
We have one carpenter who basically builds the entire thing. We have a painter and a production assistant who paint the entire thing. We have one props person who builds or finds all of the props for a show. And in a show like Elf the Musical, that's a pretty daunting process.
Painting for Elf the Musical started almost 2 months ago, and set construction obviously had to have started before that. Way back in August, to be precise.
We're all artists, and we take pride and real enjoyment out of seeing when the lights come up at the top of the show and the audience gasps because they see this beautiful set before them and the beautiful costumes and stuff. That sort of is the reward in many respects for us.
That looks good, Jeff. Can you pass me a leg, please? Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, this one's better.
Yeah, they look great with the
Okay. But I had pre-bought fabric. I dyed it in my own bathtub because I knew there was no dye vat here. Anyway, that started well before I came here. The bits and pieces and trying to source things. It's a lot of sourcing.
Bonnie and her team have plenty of costumes to make, including elf legs, business suits for New Yorkers, and the classic Will Ferrell movie-inspired green elf costume.
One thing I think people need to know is that it doesn't just exist. When we're storytelling, we're always storytelling, and therefore the article must answer the question in the audience's mind as to who this person is, what they do, and it doesn't just exist in a store. Sometimes we have to create it, and sometimes things take like 60 hours to make. It's such an icon, the film, and everybody knows what Elf looks like. So don't fix it if it ain't broke, right?
From scene to scene, from the scene.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I definitely do a lot of that motion.
Okay.
It looks. So we sort of hat on it.
Yeah, this is just a mock-up. It will be green. That's good. And then I'll have clips
Okay.
so that it'll hold it on.
Yeah, I feel so special. Yeah. It's going to be really fun to jump around in it for the whole show. Yeah. I am ready to
No,
show the
please
city
do
of
not.
Saskatoon
Please
what
do
it
not.
means to be an elf.
They pass me by, and who knows why? Could it be that old Saint Nick's gone out of style? Nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares about Santa.
So as the director, yes, I start the impulse. I have that first concept and that first idea. And so I share with my designer what are the images that stand out for me in the show. When the audience comes in, really, I like to think of it as, that's my imagination splayed out on that stage.
And to make Sarah's imagination take shape, it's a lot of hard work from a very specialized and talented team.
I think the biggest thing that people might not understand, when people come to a show, they see a beautiful set and all that, and they tend to think of the actors and the directors and all that, but they don't realize just sort of the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes to put that set on the stage. And in our case, the amount of work that's done by a handful of people.
When Jody says just a handful of people, he's not exaggerating, which makes staging a full Broadway show, especially one the size of Elf, that much more daunting.
For Elf, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 people in wardrobe, like basically 8 people. 9 if you include myself, to do all of the technical aspects of the show. And then once we get on stage, then we add a lighting and a sound person in, so then we're up to 11.
Total above pipe weight. So take the half brick off and add 13.
It's like elves. Here, the production staff for us at Persephone Theatre, they've been our little elves working away and painting and building and making everything from this size to 18 feet tall. And so to walk into the theatre and see it up is always miraculous.
This group of elves might not get all the attention they deserve, but even though they aren't on stage, every seat in the house will have a view of their work, making a little slice of Christmas magic.
Every designer's work is only as good as the production company you're working for, and this particular production company, Persephone, is pretty darn good.